it's a film, right? It's not like a Marvel movie. So if you're looking for a film, like a cinematic experience, then Dune is right up your alley.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low.
What can I say about Dune that hasn't been said 1,000 times before? We saw it last night in IMAX, and I'm so glad we were able to see it in a theater before we saw it on HBO Max. Dune is a very serious and cinematic film, right? There's not a lot of lightheartedness or smiles to be had in this film. It takes itself very seriously.
You never met Harkonnens before. They're not human, they're brutal.
The film does a lot of things right. And the biggest thing that I like about it, two biggest things I like about it are, one, it never insults your intelligence, and two, is it's constantly moving forward. I think that's one of the things that happened with the 1984 Dune and with even the TV show is it's like, it feels like it kind of goes and then stops, where this version of Dune is like constantly moving forward. This story in this Dune is all about the Atreides family and is really told from Paul's point of view. So you don't see like the broader world universe, but everything is told from his point of view. The direction and acting are top notch. I don't think there's a single performance in this entire thing that I did not like. I think Rebecca Ferguson is probably the big standout here from the feedback that I've heard from people in the theater, talking to family and friends that have seen it. She plays Paul's mom, was it Lady Jessica, and absolutely kills that role. She plays it so well. The cinematography is superb, right? Like it really is superb. And it's like these wide, epic shots, and then there'll be like a medium close-up, and then there's some very creative blocking and framing going on there too. And there's these scenes that, for my taste, or anyway, the depth of field is a little too shallow. And then there's some, especially in the theater, in the IMAX theater, some of the scenes seemed a little dark. I would reserve judgment on those until I'm able to see it on a TV screen. I think some of that is partly due to those films are being edited on a computer and then they're being projected onto a screen. So there may be some discrepancies there, whatever. No arguments or, complaints at all about the cinematography. It looked great. And especially in the theater, it looked really good.
What's in the box?
Pain.
I think the biggest thing from a technical point of view, as good as the cinematography is, but the sound design was just absolutely amazing. And it's probably due to that IMAX experience. And I think people have great TVs, very clear, like image quality and size you can get at home. But like that sound design in an IMAX theater was so good. And it was so clear. It never like blew your ears up to the point where like it just became noise. Everything is there. You could hear it all. It's so good. If this movie does not get an Oscar nomination for sound design, something's wrong.
I know you. There's something awakening in my mind.
I think my son said it best as we were leaving to like sum up his experience with Dune. And he was saying that Dune scratched an itch that he didn't know he had. And I mean, it's hard to argue that. There's parts of Dune that borrow and give to other things. There's a couple of scenes that are reminiscent of like 300. It has a very Fellowship of the Ring vibe to it, right? And it has some other elements in there too that echo some bigger like Game of Thrones type things that are going on in this universe. So it really is like, you could tell it's the first movie in a series. And let's hope we get that series done, because my final takeaway here is that this film took chances without ever a guarantee of being able to like deliver on those setups, right? I mean, there was never a guarantee when they started making this. It's not a guarantee now in the opening weekend. And I think that needs to be respected, because like there's so many films that are like cookie cutter these days, and the fact that we get something now that is creative, that is not afraid to take some big chances, and I think that needs to be respected. The person in me that likes cinema and filmmaking and all of that whole process, like just respects all of that. Final thing, and I actually heard this before, but it's true. So if Warner Brothers does greenlight sequels for Dune, then people's perceptions of this movie are going to change. I think if they do a sequel that finishes this story in this style, then this film is going to be thought of as a masterpiece. Right now, where it kind of just ends, it's left in the air, right? So it's not a complete story. It does a good job of telling a huge story up until that point, but it's not a complete story. So again, it's very Lord of the Rings trilogy, original Lord of the Rings trilogy-ish, where I ain't gonna say it just kind of ends, because it does have a climax to it, but we all know that there's way more to the story. So if you are a fan of cinema, and especially if you are looking for something that's non-Marvel movie related, then check out Dune. I think you'll like it. I'm gonna watch it again this weekend on HBO Max and check out some of those bits and just clarify some stuff or whatever, and be able to watch it hopefully with subtitles. I don't know if it's got subtitles or not, but Dune's excellent. Check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.